All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Meet Us in the Ring podcast. It is Mary the Heel here, as always, with Maddie, my number one girl. How
What's
you
going
doing today?
on? I mean, I'm just excited to talk about this show. My personal life is a disaster, and that's okay. Um,
Girl, me. I know we took last week off, guys, because Maddie and I are both, just we're struggling with life right now, and I'm
yeah,
sure a lot of people can relate. It was storming here in California, so like
the vibes were off.
the vibes were so off. I hate rain. And as a Californian, I feel like that's a pretty common feeling. But
Probably.
I truly hate the rain. Hey, Eric,
What's going
welcome.
on,
Glad
Eric?
you're here. Um, yeah, we're right now we're surviving, not thriving, but we're hoping that that's gonna change.
God is not. We're not God's favorites right now. Like, for
Oof.
real.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Anyway,
It's like the sun is finally out, so that's good. I just
love
think
that.
the worst thing about like when it's raining is that my dogs do not like to go outside in the rain. So then
Oh,
I'm struggling the whole time with taking them out. I'm getting soaked, and then it just makes
ugh,
me upset, and just the vibes are not there.
the vibes are so off.
Yeah.
Eric's waiting for the Super. So really quick, the Super Bowl is. I know nothing about football. It's the 49ers
Hmm.
and the Kansas people.
Kansas people, yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs,
Right.
which
Okay.
they
Team
should
Taylor
still
Swift.
change their name, but that's
Ooh.
that's a
Yeah.
different story. That's a different topic. But I am gonna be watching the Super Bowl today because I'm watching for Usher. So
Is that who's doing the halftime show?
yes,
I
Usher
had
is doing
no
the halftime
idea.
show. As a 30-year-old millennial, I am so ready for
Cause
this.
baby
Truly,
tonight. Oh God, bringing back memories.
yes. That's the only thing I'm excited about.
Yeah, I am not watching
Is
that. Like,
just watching Super Bowl.
I'll watch
And
for Usher for sure.
yeah, yeah. And I'm wearing my Las Vegas sweater just because it's in Las Vegas. I don't know
Mm.
anything football related, so
Yeah, me neither. Like, I don't. I yeah, didn't even know the names of the teams that were. I only know the 49ers because Nas, my bestie, loves them. So that's how I know. So shout out to Nas.
yeah. Like I know a lot about like the teams and stuff, but I don't like to watch football.
No,
it's just
they
it's
like
just not a
run
sport
for
I can
10
get
they like
into.
run for 5 seconds and then they stop for like 15 minutes. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, what happened? And they're like, well, obviously this happened, and I'm like,
Okay, well that's not very obvious. Like
yeah, could have fooled me. So clearly we're not big football fans, but
no, but I hope that everyone who is enjoys it and has a great time.
yeah, I saw a lot of celebrities are there because it's in Vegas, and they're
Taylor
all
Swift
living
is
their
there.
best life. Huh?
Taylor Swift is probably there, that's for sure.
Oh, probably if she got
Girlie
back
took her
in time.
private jet just to get there.
Yeah, all the Swifties are definitely watching today.
Good God. Okay.
But anyway, today's episode, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Love and WWE, Bianca and Montez. Really quickly, I don't know how you feel about it, but I have a feeling that they're gonna do multiple seasons, but of different couples because
Yeah.
it's like Love and WWE colon Bianca and Montez, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is it gonna be different couples, or are they just they added Bianca and Montez because maybe people like they think mainstream audiences didn't know who they were? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I obviously follow Bianca religiously on social
Mhm.
media, so I watch all her stories, and she is definitely not opposed to a season two. She's very excited about it. However, I feel like it could be with other couples, like a Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch season would be
Mhm.
fun. I don't know how much they do that, or if they'd want to do that, considering their daughter's a bit older now. You know, they might want privacy, which respect. Maybe a Miz and Maurice season. You know, like the possibilities are endless because
Well,
there's
but
a lot of
they
WWE couples.
they had their own show though, so
Oh,
it's
they
like
did. That's right.
yeah. So
Like
this is
we,
technically the third show that they've had. They've had Total Divas. Oh no, they've had Total Divas, Total Bellas, Miz and Maurice, and now Love and
love in
WWE.
WWE. Yeah.
But yeah, I have a feeling that Love in WWE is kind of the like actual show title, and then I
Yeah.
think there'll be different seasons with different couples, which I am here for
Yeah.
because like
Trinity and, Jimmy? God,
oh
that would be
please,
fun.
please.
'Cause they were fun on Total Divas, so I would
Yeah, I
love,
mean,
like, that
they were the best couple on Total Divas, let's be real.
100%.
And I think it would be cool to see now that she's back in WWE, like how everything has changed for them. And I would love a season with them. I would love a season with Liv is with Bo Dallas, right?
I mean, the last I heard, but they could have broken up and we have no idea, so
But also, I guess technically he's not in WWE right now.
yeah. I mean,
So
like, we can't do Rhea and Buddy because he's in AEW.
yeah,
Although that would be
yeah,
fun. That would be really fun. Um,
crossing enemy lines, you know.
yeah.
I'm trying to
Uh,
think what
yeah,
other
what
couples would I want to see.
Charlotte and Andrade?
Ooh,
Because he's back, so,
yeah.
I
I
guess
don't
we'll
know who
see.
else would be like top stars that I would want to see.
Yeah, the only ones I can really think of in
You know?
that terms are Becky and Seth.
Yeah,
And that would
yeah,
be
that's true.
fun.
But I would like to see like the other couples. Like there's Carrion and Scarlett.
Yeah.
There's who else? Aren't Dexter and Indy Hartwell a couple?
In real life, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Johnny Gargano and
Candice
Candace.
LeRae, yeah.
That'd
Oh,
be cute.
that would be fun. Especially because
Oh,
they have another child on the way now.
give me Ricochet and Samantha,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, if they had their own season, I would eat that up.
They are so cute for real. Ugh,
They
hate them
are
for that. No.
they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful.
Ugh, I think he
Who?
means Jamie Hater. Which is funny.
Oh, hmm, interesting.
We'll
But
see.
anyway, so we'll talk about Bianca and Montez. So
Yeah.
if you haven't already, please go watch the full season. It's already on Hulu. It's incredible. So episode 1, it is during Royal Rumble in 2023, so last year's Royal Rumble, and Bianca had her match with Alexa Bliss, which we all know wasn't really that great of a match. Um, Montez was only in the Royal Rumble for like 11 seconds
Which
before he
I
got
did not
thrown out.
remember at
I didn't
all.
either. I didn't remember him getting thrown out that fast.
And he was
Um,
not happy about that.
yeah. In this episode, he's really like talking about wanting to be a single star, but he feels bad about it because he's been in a tag team with Angelo Dawkins for so long, and as we know now, they're still a tag team and they're still working together. So,
Yes.
but he is kind of like expressing that he wants to be a single star, and that's why he joined WWE in the first place. Like that was always the goal.
Yeah.
Bianca's parents are really bugging them about a baby. And as we know now, I think it's hard to like watch something that happened a year ago because you already know kind of like, okay, well, they don't have a baby yet. So
Right, yeah.
like, but her parents were really bugging them, which like kind of gave me the ick because I hate when
I didn't love that, like
I hate when parents are like, well, I'm not getting any younger and I want a grandchild. Like that
that sounds
really
like a
rubs me
you
the wrong way.
problem, like, you should
Yeah.
never rush your children to do anything they don't wanna do, so
Well, it's like, Bianca wants to be a mom, but she is at the top of her career right now.
Yeah.
And so that's just not something that she wanted, especially last year. She was still the Raw Women's Champion and she was going into WrestleMania. So it's like, she's not ready for that. But
No.
yeah, I mean, because I hear parents doing that all the time. My own parents did that to me where they're like, well, I want a grandchild. And I'm like, that seems like a you problem.
Yeah, like, time is everything, you know?
Yeah. Also, Bianca, this part, I don't know if if she actually was surprised or if she was just acting surprised for the show, but it was when Rhea chose Charlotte for WrestleMania.
Like, we all knew that was gonna happen, right? Like, I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, and so that's why I don't know if she was like actually surprised or if, they just wanted her to act surprised for the
Yeah, it
show. I'm
seemed a
not
little
sure.
embellished.
And then they just talked about how they met. I really like that on the show, like before the episode really starts, they have fans in the beginning, like being
Yeah.
like, "Hi Bianca, hi
Yeah, that's
Montez,"
cute.
and like asking questions. I think that's a really cute twist that they put
Mhm.
for this show in particular. And someone asked how they met, and I knew that they met at the performance center,
Yeah.
but like they don't really talk about who fell first.
I
That's what I
think
wanted
that,
to know.
like, from I've seen, like, other videos of them, like, it seems like they both kinda had a crush on each other for, like, a
Mhm.
year or 2 before they kinda just started talking, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I think one thing they didn't really talk about was that he has kids from a previous relationship.
Yeah, I forgot about
um
that.
and at this point, me and Maddie have both seen about 6 episodes of the season,
Mhm.
and they still haven't mentioned that, and I feel like they're not going to. Like, maybe he kind of wants to keep that part of his life private, like, keep
Yeah,
his kids off
I
the
get
show,
that.
which is understandable.
Totally get that.
um we were talking about Total Divas earlier, and Jimmy and Trinity, they had his kids on the show,
Yeah.
because those are her stepkids. And so I think Bianca and Montez just kind of wanted to separate that from
Yeah.
what this was, which, totally understand if you don't want your kids to be exposed on TV.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That kind of contributed to me feeling weird about like Montez being like, well, yeah, like I want to have a baby, but it's like you already have kids. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
let
but,
let
like,
Bianca live her life.
yeah. He'd also I don't know, I mean, I guess when you're with the love of your life and you're like, "I wanna have a baby with this person," so I guess I can get where he's coming from, but
Hmm.
he, unlike maybe, like, the parents, seems to understand where she's coming from in terms of, like, I know she's at the top of her career, and this is important to her, and she's very successful, like, maybe let's wait until she is kinda more in the not in the background, but not at the forefront all the time, because she's
Hmm.
on all the promotional posters for WrestleMania, and she didn't even win the Rumble. She hasn't won the Chamber, she's probably
Yeah.
not going to win the Chamber, which, like, as a huge Bianca fan, love that, but also at the same time, where's Bayley?
Yeah, my husband and I were talking about that today because, like, I don't understand why the two posters that came out were Bianca and Cody when
Right.
Bailey won the Rumble. Like, it should have been Bailey and Cody
Yeah,
for the
and I love
posters.
Bianca to death, that's my number 1, but I can also kinda put that aside and be like, "Well, she did not win the Royal Rumble. She did not
Mhm.
outlast 29 other women. Bayley did. Bayley should be on the poster." And even I know you don't like CM Punk, but he went on his Instagram story and was like, "Hey guys, Bayley won the Royal Rumble, let's not forget. Like, let's respect
Yeah.
that." And love that. So,
Well,
if
and also Bianca was at the press conference on Thursday
oh gosh,
for Mania instead of Bailey, and I'm like,
very weird.
I'm confused because unless Bianca is gonna have a match at Mania, why is she doing all the promo? And I'm
Fingers crossed.
hoping that it's just because they want to promote the show more of
Yeah.
Love and WWE, to reach that mainstream audience. So I'm hoping that's the reason, but I don't know.
Bailey's also been posting a lot, like, about the posters, like, on Twitter, she's like, "That doesn't look like me," and it's like, I can kind of feel her pain in a sense, because like,
Yeah.
a lot of WWE fans wanted her to win the Royal Rumble, myself
Mhm.
included. We're
Me too.
all rooting for her to beat Io, and so we're all behind her. Why is this company not behind her when she's literally one of the greatest of all time? It's very
Yeah.
weird. I don't know. Off topic, but, like, just wanted to throw that out there because it's weird.
We always digress. It's fine.
We do.
Oh my gosh,
What's
Anthony's
going on,
here. I've been saying
Anthony?
the same thing about Bailey. She definitely should have been at the Mania press conference. Yeah, agreed.
Unless
Agreed.
she, like, couldn't make it or something, but at the same
Yeah,
time, like, I mean, Becky Lynch was there, and Girly has not won the Rumble. Girly is probably not gonna well, actually, she might win the Chamber, off topic,
yeah.
but where's Bayley? Like, I was a little annoyed in a sense. I'm always gonna watch Bianca and support her, but I bet
Mhm.
she wanted to see Bayley there too. So, very weird, very weird.
Yeah.
Don't understand that.
But
Yikers.
back to the first episode, and someone asked, Were Montez and Angelo a team on the Indies? As far as I know, no, because I believe that they both started at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
So I don't think they ever were on the Indies.
They were tag
Um,
team at NXT.
yeah, that's true. They were tag team partners for a long time. But
Were they ever NXT? I think they were NXT tag champs, right? At some point.
I don't remember. If anyone
Let me look
knows,
it up real
fact check
quick.
us on that. um, but yeah, and and Montez was talking a lot on this episode
Yes,
about
they
wanting to
were.
be a single star. They were
Yeah.
NXT champions.
Yeah. Triple Crown.
Nice. Um, and again, it's hard to see it now a year later because they're still a tag team, and it leads me to wonder if there's any type of resentment, and I would like to think that there's not, but because he's still kind of in the same place that he was a year ago
Is
with
it a
not
faction now? Yeah.
yeah, with not knowing if he's going to have a WrestleMania moment, if, he's going to be able to break out as a single star. And I wonder how Angelo Dawkins feels about like watching these episodes.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
But and that also leads me to, okay, how much do I think this is kind of like not scripted in a sense, but the situations are set up for TV, if that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's how Total Divas was. A lot of the situations were set up a certain way, in order for the show to have moments. Um, I would like to think that most of it is authentic,
I
but
yeah.
yeah.
I think for the most part it probably was, but like, I'm sure that I mean a lot of the things that they're saying when they're talking about their WWE careers and like Montez is venting his frustrations, that seems very authentic and real to
Mm-hmm.
me. Like how he was talking about how he wanted to do really well in the chamber to be able to be able to stand out, to have a spotlight, to have a WrestleMania moment. But on when it comes to like Angelo and Montez, I feel like at the end of the day, they obviously are like brothers
Mm-hmm.
and they're like family, they're best friends, and you want to see your best friends succeed.
Yeah.
You want to see them do well. So I'm sure that I would hope that Dawkins is not taking it personal because obviously Montez is not saying like, "Oh, you're the reason I'm being held back" and all that. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'd like to see Dawkins as a single star eventually too. He's super talented. Like, I was a little sad he didn't qualify for the chamber. That was sad.
Yeah. And Montez definitely had his moment at last year's Elimination Chamber. Like
Mm.
it is one of the biggest moments for an elimination chamber. Oh my god, I can't talk. Elimination chamber match in recent history. Like that was a
Mhm.
very big moment. Um, and you see that later on in the season. Episode 2 mostly focused on them like going to Raw and stuff. And one of the big moments was that Montez Ford slammed Otis.
Yeah.
And I honestly like I don't remember that match really, but that was a big moment for him.
I kind of
Um,
remember. I remember the slam. I don't really remember like much of the match.
yeah. And then this next thing is one of the moments that like I feel like was clearly set up for the show because a lot of the episodes focus on them talking about babies. And it
Yeah.
was Bianca bought baby clothes from Walmart.
I
And
was
I was
like,
like,
"Girl, what are
girl.
you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah. And I feel like that was one of those things that was like, oh, this will be funny and play into
Yeah.
like, oh, are they gonna have a baby or not? You know. So, but Bianca bought a like a baby onesie or something,
Yeah.
and like I've looked at baby clothes in the store. I'll admit it, but I've
Sure.
never
Yeah.
like bought anything.
No, I thought that was a little weird, but I mean, whatever. Girlie, spend your money how you want to spend it.
Yeah, and then they were setting up the women's elimination chamber match,
Yeah.
and then towards the end of the episode they go to the fertility clinic, and
Mhm.
I don't know how to like feel about it because a lot of the conversation was okay, how long would she be out? if she did have a baby. And it's so crazy because as a woman, like especially in this country in the US, like you don't really get as much time off as you should when
Mhm.
you're pregnant. But
Yeah.
in wrestling, you don't really have a choice. You
Mhm.
have to take a certain amount of time off.
Yeah.
Like a normal job, you can work for most of your pregnancy.
Yeah.
And, up until like 7, maybe even 8 months, you can still work your job.
Yeah.
But wrestling, you can't do that.
Mm-mm.
As soon as you're pregnant, like, I mean, there's a little bit of a leeway, but you're almost immediately taken out of the ring
Right.
because it's a liability issue, you know? So then that's 9 months of before you even have the baby. And then it's, potentially 6, 7 months after the baby because you're on your maternity leave, and then you have to get back into ring shape, then you have to practice so that you're ready to go. And there's a couple superstars out right now, like Alexa still, not recovering from her pregnancy, but like she's still out, and
Carmelo.
Carmella's still out. And so I think the old fear of being forgotten is not as prevalent now because of social media.
Yeah.
And so you're still constantly connected to your fans, even if you're not on TV.
Mhm.
So I think that definitely works in Bianca's favor, in terms of like being out and being forgotten. But it it's just like really crazy to think about. It's so a year and a half of your life that you're not working
Yeah.
because of what you do.
God, I don't wanna go 15 months without Bianca, guys. I would be so sad.
Yeah, I didn't even, and sometimes that time goes by really fast. I didn't even realize that Brandy was gone for pretty much that long.
Bro, who was gone for over was it over a year?
It was like 16 months.
Bro, oh my god.
It was a long time, but it didn't feel that way.
No. I don't know, maybe because his presence was kinda, like, felt because Riddle was still kinda, like, doing the whole RK Bro
Hmm.
shtick for about half that time before he was released, so it was kinda the presence was felt, but yeah, that did go by kinda fast, I guess.
Yeah. So I feel like, and Becky went through it, and she came back on top.
We don't talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying, when she came back, she was still a top star.
Yeah.
And so when they went to the fertility clinic and she heard that she could be gone for like 18 months potentially, I feel like it really affected her because
Yeah.
she's one of those people that always has to be doing something. And I get
Mm.
that because like when I'm not being depressed, like when I have like a day off, I feel like if I don't do something productive, then I've wasted my day. And
Oh, okay.
I feel like she is very much like that.
Yeah.
Like when she's at home, even though she has a day off, she still wants to be getting stuff done.
Yeah,
So I feel like it'd be really hard for her to be sitting on the sidelines for that long.
for sure. I mean, and I don't know, I can be a very lazy person, so if I have a day off, I like to just vibe and maybe film some video. I mean, I do know what you mean, like, I like to do something to where I'm
Mhm.
like, "I'm glad I did that today." Whether it's, like, read a chapter of a book or go for a walk, but Bianca's very orientated in the fact that she's like she loves her career so much, she always wants to be doing something. So that's why in one of the later episodes, like, which we won't go too much into because 'cause we're talking about the first 2, but he brought her friends to surprise her and be like, "Your friends are
Mhm.
here, relax, have fun," and she did, and so that was nice to see. Because but yeah, I can't really relate to the whole busybody mindset. Like I love to be like when I'm at work, I always have to be doing something. Like I can't sit around and do nothing. That's weird. But if I'm off the
Mhm.
clock, girl, I'm off the clock. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. So that's kind of my mindset. Like if I'm clocked in, then busybody, can't sit still, gotta be doing stuff. But if I'm not working, that's my time, and I'll do whatever I want. So maybe
Yeah.
that's what Montez was trying to get her to realize, like, "Girl, relax." You know?
Well, and I feel like, we've seen it with the other WWE related shows, reality shows, is that you don't really get to be off the clock when you're a
Yeah.
WWE superstar, really. And you're really seeing that with Bianca and Montez because even when they're not in the ring, they're on the road. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, well, we need to get a rental car. Well, our flight's delayed. Okay, we need to, X, Y, and Z. We need to figure out how we're getting places. And I feel like that can be just like really stressful because you're still on the clock, even
Yeah.
when you're not. And that is something that I give any WWE superstar credit for because that's a lot.
You know what was so crazy to me, and I just still can't get over it, is Bianca was like, in one of the interview aspects of the show, she was like, sometimes we'll get in the hotel at 1 a.m. and then we're up at 3 a.m. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I feel like WWE superstars do not sleep more than 4 hours a night. And that is so
Probably not.
concerning because I am a person where I need at least like 7 hours to be able to feel like I can properly function. So 8, 9, give it to me. So the fact that they're like, oh yeah, we went to bed at like midnight and had to be up at 4 a.m. I'm like, oh my god, I could
Hmm.
just not be a WWE superstar just for that.
Yeah, and like you can't really call out.
No,
You
like,
can't just be like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't feel like going to Raw. Like you can't do that.
and imagine like getting up at like 3 a.m. after 2 hours of sleep, traveling across the country, getting in makeup and costume, all for them to come backstage and be like, your segment got cut.
Oh,
And I'm
that
sure
was
that's
that was so
happened.
devastating.
It happened to Tez later in the show,
Hmm.
and I'm sure it's happened to plenty of superstars. Obviously, we know the women. Damn, Junior, what's going on, June June? But it's also like that would suck because all that would be in my mind is I could have been at home with my husband, my wife, my could have
Hmm.
been hanging out with my sister, like my friends, and like I that would really crush me. And I
Yeah.
remember like again, I'm talking about a later episode, but like Tez and Dawkins where they were in their gear, they had gotten groomed, shaved, they were in their full all that. And then they were like, "Sorry, your segment got cut." And
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. And unfortunately, that happens to the women all the time,
mm.
and that's
Thank you,
just the
Roman
nature of the
Reigns, for
beast.
that.
Yeah, for real. But in I don't remember if it was episode 2, um, but I liked that they had um, they had shown the tag team match with Montez and Dawkins versus the not Street Profits, the Alpha Academy,
Yeah.
um, because I think people who like watch wrestling reality shows, they don't really watch the matches, and so like I want to see more of that, but maybe they like can't show everything because
Yeah.
of licensing or whatever else. But um, I've really been enjoying this show so far, and one thing that I do want to talk about is their matching outfits.
Oh,
They match outfits constantly, and I am living for it. I
love
wish my
it.
husband would do that with me.
I hope
But
I find someone I
we
can do that with someday because that they're just so it's so cute. Like they are truly soulmates and I love it.
yeah, and their outfits are just always on point. I
Hmm.
love that they're always like wearing the same colors, and
Yeah.
they know what colors work on them, and they look good.
They look so good.
I just really love them, and I love that like we're getting to see more of their personalities and like
Yeah.
Montez's personality because he's always goofy on TV and extra, but I feel like he really dialed it up for this show.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me like maybe he's not always like that, but I feel like Bianca kind of brings that out of him in a sense that he just loves being around that woman. He just loves spending because it seems like, it's hard for them to get like some alone time. So
Mhm.
whenever they do, even if it's in front of cameras, that just seems like something he's really excited about. And that's just so adorable.
Yeah, their relationship is really cute, and I love it.
Yeah.
But What else happened in those episodes? Oh, like I didn't realize that Montez was so close to Omos. Like I didn't know
Yeah.
they were like
Montez
besties.
Omos was at the cookout, and so was Reggie. Reggie was there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fucking
And at that
Reggie.
point, I didn't even know Reggie was still in the company, TBH.
Yeah, he's in NXT. He's going by Scripps now. I don't know. Like
Okay.
I just have not been following that storyline.
Eric, to answer your question, no, they are
No.
not. As far as we've seen, we've only seen up to episode 6, so we don't know if they're in episode 7 or 8. But I imagine that they're not because they haven't
Yeah.
really talked about them at all. Um,
The birth mother probably like doesn't want them to be on TV, and honestly I
mhm.
can't really blame her for that. So,
Yeah, I agree. And it. I feel like this show is very much just about them and just about WWE. Like it's not
mhm.
about their pasts. It's not
No.
about like their really personal details. Like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like just like a glossy overview of their life rather than
Yeah.
kind of an in deep thing. Later on in one of the episodes, Bianca talks about like some deep stuff, but
Yes.
in the first two episodes, it's really kind of lighthearted and
Mhm.
explaining to a mainstream audience who they are, what they do, the current state of their careers, which Bianca was Raw Women's Champion at that time. And it was before, she found out that she was going to face Asuka, which she finds out later on.
Really quick, I was so excited for this moment in the episode where they're kind of reviewing the women's chamber match, and I wanted to see like Bianca's like real reaction to Asuka. I really wanted to see her talk about, and they didn't, and that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
frustrating to me. They were basically like Asuka won the chamber, and Bianca's like Asuka's a beast. I got to be ready for anything, and like that was it. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I wanted to see like her talking about how she feels about facing Asuka, who is literally one of, if not the greatest women's wrestler in the world. And it doesn't really touch on that. I don't know. That was maybe that's like me nitpicking, but I just
Mm-hmm.
was excited to see her kind of talk about like, oh, I gotta be. I mean, maybe they will because WrestleMania hasn't happened yet. We haven't
Yeah.
finished the whole season. I'm sure Asuka will be mentioned again at some point, but I mean, there's got to be a lot of preparation to go into the ring with that woman because she's a beast.
Yeah. And kind of going back to when she like found out that Rhea was gonna face Charlotte,
Yeah.
I could see where Bianca was coming from because they have history too, Bianca and Rhea. So
Yeah.
it was fair to maybe assume that Rhea was gonna choose her, and I feel like a lot of people wanted that, and I feel like a lot of people still want that. If for some reason Bianca wins the Elimination Chamber this year, like it's frustrating that I know that they're building to Becky and Rhea. It drives me crazy.
No, we want Liv.
I mean, yes, that too, but like I feel like if Bianca won the Elimination Chamber for some reason, I feel like nobody would be upset. Well, there's going to be some people upset regardless
Yeah.
because wrestling fans are fickle as
Fickle.
hell. But I feel like it would make sense to a lot of people, and a lot of people would be here for it. I'd be here for it. I really
I
want
would.
Liv to win the Elimination
Yes.
Chamber because she deserves it, and
Absolutely.
um, and I know that Naomi's probably going to be in the Elimination Chamber match, which love that.
And Jade. It's pop.
Jade,
Well, I saw, I don't know if anyone else saw this, but like, and it could be fake. I want to preface it could be fake, but WWE posted something on their website, and in the back was like a blurred banner of the women's chamber, and
uh
it
huh.
was Naomi, Becky, Bianca, Tiffany Stratton, who's
Oh,
probably going to qualify next week, Jade Cargill, and Liv Morgan. So, because people are thinking that if Jade is in it, maybe that'll kickstart Jade versus Bianca, which
mm-hmm.
I personally don't feel like we should get at WrestleMania this year just because there's not enough time to build a story like that. Agreed, Anthony. Like it's not even anything personal. I guess you are a junior, but like nothing personal to Becky, but like, what is the story there? Like, I'm scared you're better than me, so I have to. No, that's so stupid. I'm so sorry. Like, Liv and Rhea actually have history.
Hmm.
Liv, I believe, has she been in every single women's chamber match
Yes.
and hasn't won? Like,
Yeah.
mm. I just feel like Liv and Rhea makes the most sense. And also, speaking of Liv, Bianca in the show, going back to the show, actually said
Hmm.
that Liv was her best friend in the WWE, and we see a lot of Liv Morgan on the show. So,
We do,
Bianca
which
fans, we
love.
have to rise for Liv here. Okay, okay. Axel,
I
I'm talking
know.
to you.
I love that Liv and Bianca are really close. Like I feel like Liv is just one of those girls that's a girl's girl. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like
absolutely.
she's besties with everyone. And I mean at least from what I see.
Hmm.
And so I'm pulling for her.
Me
I
too.
but they pretty much said it at the press conference that it's going to be Becky and Rhea, which
But
was
well, like,
really annoying.
it's so frustrating. Like, for once, Becky Lynch, can you just step aside and let someone new come up, please? Like,
I mean, I
not even
guess
her, just the creative. Like, it's so frustrating. There is a clear story, or at least do a triple threat. If you want Becky to be in the match, put Liv in there too and do a triple threat and have Liv maybe pin Rhea or have Liv pin Becky or whatever. But yeah, I don't want Rhea versus Liv. And I mean, sorry, yes I do. I don't want Rhea versus Becky. And I honestly don't even think that match would be that good. I'm so sorry.
I think I don't know. At this point, I feel like WWE is very much like, okay, we just need all the big names on WrestleMania so that we can make money,
Yeah,
which
and that's
I get
stupid.
because you're a business. But Liv versus Rhea is an actual story. And at one
Hmm.
point, WrestleMania matches were about the stories.
Yeah. Like
But I feel
Bianca
like
versus
now,
Becky.
now they just want it to be all big marquee matches so that they can make the most money, which, like,
Sucks.
it's fine if that's how you want to go. That just feels like a very UFC thing, and
Mhm.
so I don't know if there's that influence there. But with Bianca being on the posters, like that feels weird. With the Becky and Rhea thing, that feels weird. And I
Yeah.
just wish we get those juicy stories back.
I
So we'll
just like
see.
yeah, WrestleMania is a great time to really give new upcoming superstars a push. And not that Liv is new,
Hmm.
but and she was champion before and as a two-time tag champ, but she's never really had a great moment. Her entire SmackDown Women's title reign was overshadowed by Ronda, and that
Hmm.
sucked. I was very glad that Ronda pushed to give Liv that title, but at the same time, it just didn't really. What she was champion for? What, like 86 days? Like, come on.
Yeah, it
And
was it
Rhea's
was pretty
been
short.
champion for over 300 or something at this point, and the reign has not been good. So I just want I just want to Liv to get that moment that she deserves instead of giving someone else a moment when they've already had plenty of moments. Like, Becky doesn't need another WrestleMania victory. She's already got, I think, at least two under her belt. Like, come on, give someone else a chance. Like, for real.
Hmm. And she didn't have a big match last year, so I don't know. Maybe they just want her to have another big WrestleMania match. I'm not sure, but again, we digress. We just love talking about the women's division on
Yeah.
this channel. You guys know that. But as far as Bianca and Montez goes, I do you feel that Montez is like jealous of her, jealous
Yeah.
of her success? I
I
don't want to
do.
think that. I don't want to think that. And I don't want to think that he has that kind of ego because he doesn't seem like the type of guy who would have that ego. But like, I feel like it still hurts him a little bit that Bianca has had so much success as a singles competitor and he just hasn't been able to have that opportunity yet. And unfortunately, even though, we say a lot of the times it's the equality with the men and the women in WWE, it's very off kilter, but
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's easier to be a successful single star as a woman than it
Yeah.
is as a man because there's so much competition in that realm.
Hmm.
Like there are so many single stars that it's hard to get that push.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree,
want to
Junior.
think.
He's
I don't
Junior
want
says
to think
he's more proud than jealous. I definitely agree with that.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
he's definitely proud of her for sure.
I feel like I don't know, I feel like he feels guilty in a sense of having that jealousy. Um, and I understand, like I totally get it, but I think maybe he's jealous, but I don't think he's like bitter. He's just
Yeah.
like, damn, I wish I could do that too. I wish was getting those opportunities too. And he has every right to feel like that, you know?
Yeah, I think it's more so like I want us both to be at that level and not
Yeah.
like I want to be at that level and not her. Like it's
Yeah.
not like that. It's
No.
I want both of us to be elevated up there,
Yeah.
which is fair. And I still very much want like I want Bianca and him to be in a group together, but right now they have BFAB in this
Oh
group with
yeah.
the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, which is fine. I hope BFAB actually starts like really wrestling. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's gonna happen, but you know, if Bianca ever does do a heel turn, I would love to see her in that faction with them
Yeah.
because I just feel like it'd be a vibe.
Definitely.
And I'm really glad that, you know, especially in recent years, WWE has gotten a lot better with like not just acknowledging couples, but encouraging it as part of their story. What?
Just doing the Roman Reigns
Oh,
acknowledge. I'm sorry.
I thought you were like gonna say something.
Anytime I hear the word acknowledge, I just can't
No, but I'm just
fucking
saying
Roman.
like they, you know, allow the couples to actually be couples on TV,
Yeah.
which I find really great. And
Hmm.
you know, I'm sure it's technically frowned upon to be, you know, dating within the locker room, but it's just gonna happen. You're around these people all the time. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Um, but I love that that's becoming more of a norm of like showcasing those couples and
Yeah.
instead of having to hide it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is,
What?
Maddie?
Like the Bible? What is going
Is that
on?
like a pay per view for something? I'm not sure. You're gonna have to explain it to us.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know what you're talking about.
but anyway, overall, those first two episodes I think were a good like intro to the show. And
Hmm.
if it does get renewed for another season, I'm curious if it's gonna be Montez and Bianca or if it's gonna be a different couple. We'll have
Yeah.
to wait and see. But I mean, both the episodes 5 stars. I wish they were a little bit longer.
Yeah, they're very short.
They're more like a 30-minute episode rather than like an hour episode if you have ads.
There's so many ads.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have the Hulu where don't have ads, but
Can't relate.
so it's a lot easier to watch. But I wish the episodes would have been longer, like how Total Divas was, because
Yeah.
those were hour episodes, and I kind of wish that's how this was because it feels a little bit rushed with everything, and they time jump a lot with like how close it
Yeah.
is to WrestleMania, which really bugged me because in the
Yeah.
first episode there was like 50 something days and then it was like 30 days to WrestleMania, but then the next episode it's like 45 days and I'm like, wait,
What? Yeah.
we're just jumping back and forth. So I wish that would have been a little bit more organized, but that's just me being nitpicky. I'm a very like linear person when it comes to storytelling. I
Yeah.
don't like jumping around timelines. It's not I don't like that.
Oh, it's Karrion Cross's new faction with AOP.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what they were called.
I didn't even know they named it, dude. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
to be honest, I didn't know that they named it, but we'll really quick give our thoughts on that. I never really watched the Authors of Pain. Is that what they're called?
Authors of Pain, yeah.
Yeah, I never really watched them, so they're completely new to me. Did they have like a thing with Carrion before?
I don't think so.
Hmm. Well, and I don't know who the old guy is. Sorry, I don't know who
What
that is.
guy?
The like the old guy who's like their manager.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know who that is. I don't know how I feel about Scarlett being a brunette now, but that's a whole other thing. Um, I feel like this faction is going to be very temporary, um, and I don't really see it going anywhere. I feel like they were just like
No.
trying to do something with Carrion, and it's just not working. I think he's better off being by himself
Yeah, for
with
sure.
Scarlet, but that's just me. Um, oh, is that who that is?
Paul Ellering. I
Why is
don't
every
know.
manager named Paul? Paul Ellering, Paul Heyman, Paul Bearer. Let's get a different name, guys.
So many Pauls.
This is too many Pauls, and that's coming from me with my husband's name Paul. But
Yeah.
but we'll be talking about the Elimination Chamber predictions next Sunday, and then we'll be getting more of the Love and WWE episodes going forward. It's kind of like our one of our series that we're going to be doing because
Oh,
we have a couple different series, but
yeah.
um, I like this one just because I like being able to talk about the show.
Yeah, it's
So
fun.
thanks for coming in and fangirling with us, guys, because we love Bianca and Montez so
We
much.
do.
And happy Black History Month. And they are examples
Yeah.
of Black excellence.
Yes.
So make sure to go watch the show on Hulu. Make sure to follow us on all our socials: TikTok, Instagram, X, what did I say? Did I say everything already?
TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, that's it. And
And
subscribe to YouTube.
yeah, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow our individual TikToks. Maddie makes incredible content. Like, she's way more consistent than I am. So make sure to go follow her if you're not already. Um, Follow me if you want inconsistent content that's just vibes. Maddie, do you have any final words?
Let's go Super Bowl teams. Yeah. The
Is
Chiefs and the 49ers. I got it. There
Yes.
you
I hope everyone has a good Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching. Make sure that you're singing Usher as loud as you possibly can because that's the vibe. And we will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.